Well, as you know, the Epstein files and the whole Epstein debacle is burning up the internet now. Every conspirator, every truther, every podcast channel is running something on Epstein, and there are a few who are actually getting viable and cool information out there for people to know about. But most of them, most of the big ones, the ones that have handlers that are given scripts, they're posting the same old information. That's the same way with all of the information that comes out in these communities. It's meant to be handled, meant to keep you from really figuring out what's going on or things going on in the background, like a new law coming out or a new thing to distract you from. What I want to do is provide you with some information from the intelligence agency on what's really going on within all of this kind of stuff, because what you're looking at is not just the surface level story. We are looking at the fact that Epstein was much more than just a pervert who had girls on an island for wealthy people to show up at. And then he would videotape and blackmail them for whatever they were doing. I want you to get your brain out of mush mode here with this, because they're making a joke out of everyone with this surface level type of story. Jeffrey Epstein was nearly a billionaire. And if you think that he became almost a billionaire by having very intelligent people, heads of state, princes, other multi-millionaire, billionaire people come out to his island, and these people wouldn't understand or think that they were going to be compromised in any way, or the word over the years wouldn't get out that, let's say after his first conviction, that the word wouldn't get out amongst these people and they would end up losing everything, right? By possibly being blackmailed by this individual. If you think that's the real story behind him, that he was simply just a pervert and then somehow miraculously $1 billion ends up in his bank account and multiple houses and things like that, you're never going to escape normally land with all of these things. What you must understand in all of this stuff, that this is why we have the intelligence agency, because we've reached over 1 million people. We've been telling people for nearly 20 years with books and information out there that the surface level information is put out there on purpose to distract you, to harm you, and to allow these people to maintain control over you. So this is why it's very important, if you haven't joined the intelligence agency yet, get your information and your viewpoint, at least a way to open your mind to think about how the system really works. It's going to affect your bank account. It's going to affect your health. It's going to affect your entire life, because these people are master manipulators at running what we call high-level psychological warfare and black magic on you. They've been doing it for nearly 2,000 years. So you can guess, and everyone already knows, who's behind Jeffrey Epstein. You already know which country. Possibly intelligence agencies from other countries may have used him for different things, but the main contributor, I think just about everyone knows, except for, get this now, the Christian evangelical community. For some reason, they just have no way whatsoever to understand how in the world they have been fooled into things. All right, so I'm going to remove this now and add this to take a peek at. Now, for 2,000 years, there has been a group of people, a small group of people, not all of them, but a small group of people who have been manipulating country after country after country after country. Nearly 100 countries have kicked them out for subversion, for taking over governments, for blackmail, for taking over banking, causing wars, all kinds of crazy stuff. Even AI will reveal it to you now and allow you to see exactly all of the types of things that are going on here throughout history. So I hope you can understand who is behind Epstein at this point in time. It is the Christian community, the evangelical, nearly 30 million Christian Zionists who are behind all the problems that we are facing because they are asleep and they are supporting that which is against every free Christian, supposedly based country that has a constitution. It is through the fooling of the Christian community into supporting that which is actually against them. Now, you read in the Bible and it says what? Even if possible, even the elect would be deceived. If you could turn around Christian Zionists from their duped way of thinking into believing that the Old Testament surpasses the New Testament and the things that Jesus said weren't actually true, you might get back control of everything. You might not have to worry about Epstein list. So what I wanted to get to you guys to help you understand, this is something we have been doing for 20 years now. And we have over 200 videos just on this channel alone. But if you'd like to get the app, get the inside scoop, get information that, of course, you know who handles and controls these media outlets and the social media, you never, ever, if you can understand this, will get the full information. You cannot scroll. You cannot watch enough videos. You know, just like Facebook, everything, if it was important enough, if it gave you enough information, is censored. Am I right? You already know that. So if you think you're going to find another video somewhere on a channel somewhere and get the information from one of these big channels, perhaps where they have handlers, where they're paid to get information suppressed or get you to, hey, look over here, don't look at this. If you want, there'll be an app in the description or in the comment section. You can download that app and start getting our news and information from the intelligence agency. We run all of our scripts based off of, since 9/11, the way these handlers and these agencies and these controllers manipulate everyone to look at certain subjects, to react a certain way about information. Now, I'm going to give you some information today, and if you watch to the end, you're going to know something you didn't know. Now, Epstein was more than just a creep and a pedophile. That is just what they got him with, so they could distract the public away from what he was really doing with gathering intelligence, with transferring huge amounts of money laundering. I'm talking billionaires, Swiss accounts type of stuff. You know, he did not become a billionaire by getting heads of state and different people to come to an island and party and provide girls for them. That kind of stuff has been going on. You can go to Hollywood right now, and that stuff's going on right now. You know, the P. Diddy case and all that. You don't have to go to an island somewhere. You think that these heads of states and these very intelligent people aren't already briefed and aren't already well aware of the possibility of being blackmailed or videotaped. I don't believe that that kind of stuff probably really went on for the purpose of blackmailing people. I think what's really going on, if you understand how these creeps work, they're favors. Favors are done for people. You know, somebody may say, hey, you can come to my island, have a retreat, relax, you know, whatever, and have favors. But it's not for the whole thing was not for the purpose of blackmailing people. People are just not that stupid. You know, some guy who owns $1 billion company is wise enough to figure out. Somebody that's in politics for 20 years, you think they're not going to understand what's really going on? They'd all go down. If one of them threw something out, the other one would be able to throw something out on them. It's more than that. That's just, I believe Epstein Island was a favor island, not a blackmail island. It was a place where favors were granted, where parties were held, where all that kind of weird, creepy stuff goes on. But what you need to know and what you need to understand the most is the things that are controlling your life, the things that are messing up your country. It's not a few people being compromised on an island. It's weapons trades. It's things that cause wars. It's things that manipulate senators and congressmen to do things against that actually affect your families. This is what the real things are that are being hidden within all this. So Ghislaine Maxwell, her father, worked for the Mossad, Israeli intelligence. That's a fact. But few people know that his publishing company, which he made a lot of money, published all the books and controlled the information that go to school kids. So you wonder why all this creepy and weird stuff and manipulated material and altered history and all these things were going down, is because you essentially had an intelligence agent for a foreign country placing information and controlling printing and all that kind of stuff for these books that you learn and control the way you think as you grow up. Since World War II, this agency has been manipulating the viewpoint of the world. So when you went to school, you had your mind was manipulated into not. So let me go back to this here. Your mind was manipulated. Your mind was manipulated not to see that this historical group that was kicked out of over 100 countries was not using usury, was not subverting laws and political power, was not using ritualistic abuse and accusations on people, was not using becoming economic parasites on the countries, was not doing corruption and tax fraud stuff, was not being disloyal to the countries during times of war and selling them out, and was not infiltrating Christian institutions to bring them down, and 1,000 other things that they were up to. So controlling the history books, controlling the information you learn, could help you not understand what's really going on. So here we are nowadays arguing, getting all mad, political stuff about this Epstein list. It's very possible that list in that type of manner maybe wasn't what you thought it was. Maybe it was just a manipulation tool for something. The real list stuff deals with the other factors going on. The real list deals with weapons and secrets and huge amounts of monies and deals and things that go along that matter to get congressmen to approve $40 billion a year going to a foreign country, paying for their health care, paying for things to be cheaper there, paying for their wars. I mean, we send them $40 billion, cash right now, not even including however many billions of dollars in weapons and things like that to fight wars that 99% of us would disagree with, except for, of course, the Zionist Christian evangelicals who have been completely duped and fooled by pastors who were given book deals, who were given mega churches, who were given TV shows by the very people who wanted to subvert the Christian church. I know I was a part of that church up until about 20 years ago, when I figured out what was really going on within it and who was getting paid off and just how corrupt and creepy the big time people were. I'm not attacking Christianity. I'm attacking Christian Zionism because you've been fooled and you still will not read the New Testament for yourself. I tell everybody, when you join the intelligence agency, I have information there that will prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt. So if you were to go to court, it would prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Christian Zionism is actually the passage from the book of Revelation that said that even the elect would be deceived. You have actually become Judas. You have actually joined against Christ. You have joined a religious system that is not following the Old Testament at all. It has nothing to do with it. The people you think that are in the land have nothing to do with the Old Testament people. They have no genetic connection to any of that. And yet you support it, you pray for it, you fund it. And in return, it comes back to your own country and non-government organizations, comes back to your own country in things that vote and pass laws. Now, I don't know if you've heard of Noahide laws yet. It outlaws Christianity. And you know what? They've been voted on in America. Did you know that? Did you know you were praying for the support of Judas? Hey guys, pling, pling. How about waking it up? How about sharing this with a Christian friend of yours and then say, hey, you know what? I challenge you. I'll give you $1,000 if you can prove this wrong. Whatever you have to do, get them to try to prove that the Old Testament now supersedes the New Testament. Get them to read the parable of the vineyard that Jesus talked about. So anyway, that is just part of what's going on. It fires a lot of people up who realize that our entire country, that America has been hijacked. I listened to a general the other day talk about the Pentagon and the fact that the Mossad, after 9/11, would just walk in and out anywhere they wanted to go. They'd just go and talk to people. They didn't even have to have security in and out of the Pentagon of the United States. I wonder who was involved in 9/11 to create those factors. So Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Mossad, and was working producing school books, very, very popular, owned a printing company, and dealt in secrets and died very mysteriously. I haven't heard a real story on that yet. Too much involved, but here's some other information you don't know about. Ghislaine Maxwell's sister owns a software company that has to deal with everything the FBI uses to look up, to do research, to find out information is funneled through her company. Ghislaine Maxwell has a sister, that's right. And her company regulates what information the CIA gets to use and look up. So if you don't think the owner of a company can't filter stuff, what do you think about that? So another, perhaps Mossad agency through software company, through Ghislaine Maxwell's sister, controls what the FBI can look up. How about them apples? Bet you didn't know that. Into connection to all this. So here's Ghislaine Maxwell. Father is Mossad. Lots of strange things going on there. She has a sister who has a software company that provides information that the FBI has to go through to search things. Bazing babow. Here she is. And she's involved with Epstein and all this stuff. And of course, there are things dealing with victims and women and different things like that in this. But they also, did you not know, would take individuals and groom certain women, educate them, pay for their education, pay for everything that goes on with taking someone and making them a high class individual, or training them to be a wife or a partner of one of these billionaire type figures. So they would take these very attractive people from other countries, pay for their education, and groom them so that they could be, I wouldn't say they were honeypots, but they would groom them so that they could be, as a favor, could be a wife for a very prominent figure. Much more going on than just, much more going on the levels of this kind of stuff than you're putting your finger on through the controlled opposition or the controlled information that you're probably seeing out there. So this does affect your life. I've tried to tell people for years who are content consumers, consuming things that are put out there. They don't understand how this entire system works. It affects your health because you have in this community people who say a lot of things. Maybe they tell you some stuff like I'm telling you, but then they're start talking about things like med beds, or they want you to use some type of product, or they want you to dump all of your money out of your bank account and buy in through their affiliate link into like cryptocurrency or some kind of thing like that. So they're actually controlled opposition using using this sort of stuff, conspiracy stuff, to try to play off of the vulnerable. And there's people, high levels, I've seen them on Fox News, even how high level they are with getting exposure, playing these games on you. It affects your psychology and your psyche, because now you're all involved, you're upset about stuff, and it can distract you from actual real life, from something that's going on you should be involved in or watching out for, such as getting all involved and worried about something on the news or stuff they're putting out that's blowing up the internet, and not noticing weather modification, floods, things they're doing to create crazy stuff out there that could actually harm you on a real life level. This is done on purpose, and this is why we have an intelligence agency to keep you awake and aware of things like the Matrix. So we're basically like trying to become Morpheus for you. We use advanced level algorithms and information to run computer searches and study this information so that we can come back and say, hey, don't look at that. Look at the reality behind it. Such as Epstein didn't become a billionaire simply by having a few girls on his island for elites to come and party. That is not the level that will get you to become a billionaire. It's the other super important things that will probably affect people's lives, like wars and multiple people dying because of espionage or kind of crazy stuff like that. These are the things you have to become aware of on all types of fronts. So this is it for today. I just wanted to provide you with a little information you did not know about the circle of influence surrounding all of this, and probably why that list is not coming out the way you think it is, and the fact that the control mechanism within the government, which is not run, we believe now, by our own country. Our country, the United States of America, is being manipulated by the City of London, by Israel, and by compromised people. And now you've seen Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, who were very adamant about a particular subject, get into office, and then the next thing you know, they're like, oh, well, this doesn't exist. They had to compromise themselves. That only happens through threats, or the fact that they have come to a realization through somebody revealing something to them that they don't have any choice but to say that. And I made a video recently where we put out the fact that this is a type of psychological warfare on you. And if you don't realize it, it's meant to compromise you, make you feel weak, make you feel like your country's falling all apart. There's nothing you can do about it. It is fifth and sixth generational warfare, this type of stuff, telling you to the point where it's like being abused by a parent. Now you have these people who you trusted get into office and then turn around and they're being forced to now gaslight you or abuse you by something like making you think that not even child predators and these evil people can be stopped. There's nothing you can do about it. So at that point in time, it's meant to make you try to give up deeper psychological information people don't understand. We put this type of information out in our reports and in our newsletters and in our intel information because it's what you need to know to keep yourself sane, to keep your finances in level, and not get all sidetracked by the news and also the controlled opposition who appears to be on your side. Your ally is not always your ally. There's more information we're going to provide in the intelligence agency report. You can download the app right now and start getting the information, looking through this proof about things. You get 3 free books on health, on finance, and on conspiratorial stuff revealing this when you join. You also can see within this channel over 200 videos now, more information on everything surrounding our life. This place we live is very strange. And at some point, maybe in the 1700s, a group of controllers took over and they have been handing this information down into control generationally through their families. There's more to all of this. Look in the description, look in the link below. Find out how this information can benefit your life. The intelligence agency will provide you with things you cannot find anywhere else. And let me tell you something. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Okay? If you think your subscription or membership fee is going to change the world for us, it's just helping us reach more people. But we already have the information. We already have the knowledge. The people, the members that are already there right now get to benefit from this. It's up to you if you want to benefit. But we do have to have a membership fee to keep the trolls out. If you don't think there are, I mean, let me tell you another secret here. A lot of these people with compromised comment sections, compromised pages, different things in truth communities have found that if they have a tech person block the IP address coming out of Israel, nearly all of their negative comments, their trolls and stuff, stop. There's a little tidbit of information for you. If you're a Christian Zionist thinking you need to support and pray for some things, it's time to wake up. It's time to share these videos with friends who are completely asleep, because who knows at what point in time they might wake up from all of this. Like I say, we're willing to prove things beyond a shadow of a doubt or a reasonable doubt. Things, if you were in court, you could say in a legal court, in a common law court, you could prove it. Not in a controlled opposition court like we have now, not in a Phoenician manipulated maritime court. Anyway, I'm rambling on for a while today. I just wanted to provide for you today that there is more to this story than just some creepos going to an island, which outrages us all. But there is much deeper things going on with this than just a list of people who visit an island to party with girls. It is way deeper than that. And that's what's being hid from you in the whole circle of these things. The connections of these Maxwells into this whole thing is way deeper, and that's what's being covered up, along with possibly the City of London being involved in trying to get control. But for us, we mostly see Israel involved in most of the problem America's facing. We'll talk more about that in the next show. Check out one of our 200 videos right now and download the app and get a membership so you never get fooled again.